We just wrapped things up. And let's take another look at the main event head kick finish. It doesn't get prettier than that. Left kick goes high. Dalton Rosta says goodnight. And Fabian the Assassin Edwards collects some hardware from Ray Sefo, president of fighter operations. Man, people are still waiting to take pictures with the newly crowned champ, Sean O'Connell, Randy Couture, Dan Hardy. World Tournament champion in the middleweight division, Fabian Edwards. How does that sound, my friend?
It sounds right. It sounds right. I've been saying all week. It just felt right this time. You know, when I went out there against a tough opponent and I got it done. You know, so I'm proud.
Tell me what you're thinking after rounds 1 and 2. He did have a little bit of success in the striking and with the wrestling. You knew you were set for 5 rounds. What was the mentality as you got off the stool heading into round 3?
I just knew, I told everyone from round 3 to 4, I'm getting a finish because it slows down. I've seen it in all of his fights. You know, when I set him up beautifully for the head kick and history is made. History is made.
And, I mean, you did say that in the fighter meetings, and that's exactly how it played out. Starting in that 3rd round, he was kind of backing up. He was letting you lead the dance a little bit. And let's take another look at the highlight because I know you're not going to get sick of this anytime soon.
Yeah, we need all the angles of this. I want to see every angle that we've got of this same knockout. And crazy, 3 years to the day. You and your bro linked in the history books of MMA now, man. It's insane. Were there any surprises early on? Were there anything that surprised you? Strength or his patience?
Strength or anything. His patience, to be honest. I thought he'd be a bit more aggressive. And I just started a bit slow, you know, but it is what it is. You know, we had a little back and forth there as well, a little slugging mash.
Yeah, yeah.
But the good fight. I enjoyed that fight, the good fight.
We enjoyed it. It was a great fight. How did the trash talking play into it, do you think? Did it? He was emotional, or do you think he kept it calm?
Nah. I think he kept it the same, you know. No one was going out there trying to start too fast, you know. I was still keeping within myself, you know, so it was good. Good.
Well, you saw the highlight over and over again. You saw all the highlights. You add another impressive name to the resume. You're hot on a win streak again, and you already know what the next bout is going to be. We'll take a look at the bracket. We'll make it all official, but...
Lovely. Look how that looks.
The cheese stands alone at the end.
Wait for the next page. That's the one that you want to see.
That's better, but like I said I was going to do it from the start of the tournament, and I've picked how I was going to do it. You know, I just feel like now I'm a different Fabian. You know, and I also want to say something before we go. I do want to shout out President Trump and Richard Gardner because my visa was, I weren't meant to be in this tournament, and my manager had to make a few phone calls, and they had to make a few phone calls, and I was back in the tournament. And without them, this wouldn't be on my shoulder. So it's crazy how things work.
And things really did work out nicely for you. I just mentioned it. You faced off inside the smart cage.
Yeah.
What do you think of Costello Van Steenen?
You know what, we've grown a lot since our last fight. You know, it was a split decision, lost on my side. I believe I won it. The judges didn't, but that's going to be entertaining. 2 strikers, you know what I mean, going for 2 world titles. First of all, I'm not the tournament, I'm a world champion, and he's also a world champion. I'm not going to fight, so I'm excited for that.
You feel like a title unification more than anything.
Yeah, I can't beat 3 of the best guys, and you say I'm a tournament. Nah, this is a world champion.
I dig it. Suits you, brother.
Yeah, come on.
It's been missing off that shoulder for a long time, I feel, right?
It's been missing, you know.
So tell me what the first food item to celebrate after all these camps, back to back to back. How are you going to celebrate?
If I'm honest, I don't know. It's probably going to be something sweet, you know.
What are you going to spend the money on? Have you got something you're going to buy? You and your brother got some wicked bags. I would imagine there's going to be another training bag in your future.
There'll be something, but like mainly, like honestly, I do this for my kids. You know, I've came from nothing, so I got 3 beautiful kids. I'm so proud to be able to come out here and I kind of represent them and earn for them. You know, like people give me a platform to earn and showcase my skill set, and to now they're able to do that and change their life, and that's it. They'll be getting a lot of toys, you know.
I guess Kennedy Smith is in the stands with some big Fabian Edwards fans. Let's send it to Kennedy.
I am here with some PFL super fans, Amir and Matt. Guys, which fight were you here to see?
We're here to see Edwards.
Edwards, for sure.
Yeah.
Right, and you were rooting for Edwards, right?
Yeah. I'm a big Leon fan, so I had to come see his brother, and I'm honestly very impressed. Yeah. And I called it. The left head kick, it runs in the family. What can I say?
Y'all knew that was 3 years to the day ago?
I didn't know that until Dan Hardy mentioned it, but that's interesting.
It's mad.
It's written somewhere. Written somewhere in the stars.
All right, great to have you guys here. Sean?
Thank you, Kennedy. Did you know you had super fans even here stateside?
I didn't know, but listen, I appreciate all the love. You know, I walked out with some boos, but at the end of the day, as long as everyone enjoyed the fight, I'm happy, you know.
It was a great fight. Obviously, the win. Congratulations. Enjoy this. Enjoy the check. Enjoy whatever time off you get. We very much look forward to the next time we get to see the assassin in the smart cage. Congratulations.
Yeah, now thank you guys. It's been great. This tournament's been great, you know, some legend. And I'm happy that I was able to win this, and thanks for everything, you know, it's been good.
Congratulations, brother.
Thank you, boys.
Proud of you.
Thank you, boys.
Proud of you.
Appreciate it.
Go get some ice on that shoulder, bro.
We'll let Fabian Edwards get out of here and enjoy the victory. A long time coming. Now let's talk about my favorite division, everyone's favorite division. Sullivan Cauley, Antonio Carlos Jr., just like we scripted it, right, Randy?
Yeah, right.
What a crazy
I don't
fight.
think anybody expected it to go that way. I mean, it was remarkable. His hands were on fire tonight. So fast, so accurate. And he's always had that willingness to step in there and let them go, but they were at a different level tonight than I've seen.
Absolutely. And as you said, Sean, you know, the reason why he can crash into range and throw power punches is because if it lands on the floor, he's got an incredible ground game to back him up. And we saw that at the very finish of the fight. It was really nice that we saw a complete skill set by Antonio Carlos Jr. tonight. Disappointing for Sullivan Cauley, but he's at a very different point in his career. He's going to rebuild, he's going to come back, and most likely when Antonio Carlos Jr.'s hung up the gloves and retired, Sullivan Cauley's still going to be in there cracking heads, you know. There wasn't a change in the guard tonight. The old school won, and that was an incredible performance to see. He realized himself. He realized that he could get back in there and prove himself to himself, as he was talking about in the fighter interviews.
Yeah, really great to see Shoeface back, really in championship form. And Sullivan Cauley, I mean, it's the same story with Dalton Rosta. These are guys, young guys in their first championship opportunities. I imagine both of them will be back on this stage at some point in their careers. But Shoeface overcame the surgeries and the injuries and the rehabs and the self-doubt. And he's the 2025 light heavyweight world tournament champion. He's on a hot streak. And like I said, it's the second piece of hardware with PFL on it. He caught up with our own Kennedy Smith backstage after the win.
Thanks, Sean. Shoeface, you were a champion in 21. Horrible injuries. You are a champion again. What does it mean to you?
What overcome, right? I'm feeling so good right now. Was a nightmare, you know, like to be injury these past years. I doubted myself, you know, in some point, but here we are, you know, another belt, champion again. Nobody ever doubted me again.
And the belt looks great on you. All right, those 2 rounds, it looks good. Those 2 rounds were insane. Lots of action. What was going through your mind that whole time?
Yeah, I knew he would come hard. You know, he hits really hard. So I need to protect myself, you know, see what the fight's gonna present, you know, what he would give it to me so I could, like, how do I say it, get the moment, you know, and use it against him.
All right, well, you've got a chance to potentially take on the winner of Anderson and Dovled. Who would you want to see in the cage?
I don't want to fight Dovled, but I want him to win, you know. Dovled is a great friend. Would be terrible to fight him. You know, we trained together. He helped me. He was so happy to see me with the belt. You know, I want him to win this fight so bad. I just gonna rest for a week. I'll come back to help him out to beat Anderson.
Fabulous, fabulous fight. Congratulations. Go celebrate.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Let's celebrate now.
Sean.
Light heavyweight bracket. As we reach the culmination, Phil Davis overcome by Sullivan Cauley. Cauley versus Shoeface, and Shoeface emerges the winner at 205 pounds for the second time. At heavyweight, Alexander Romanov in his first PFL season. Fights all the way to the championship against Oleg Popov, who lost in last year's title bout. And they went 5 hard-fought rounds, Randy. The judges' scorecards had me a little bit nervous that we were going to get a controversial outcome. But at the end of the day, Oleg Popov defeats Alexander Romanov. That's actually, UD's wrong. It's actually a split decision.
It was a split decision. There was one referee that had it for Romanov. Maybe we need to check that person's passport. They may be from Moldova. I don't know. That wasn't the fight I watched, that's for certain. But a great fight altogether. 2 big guys, you don't want to mess around, stand around in front of 2 big guys like that. A lot of horsepower on display, and they both fought very, very well.
20 of his last 21 have been victories. Of course, the lone loss was in last year's championship to Denis Goltsov. Back-to-back tournament finals appearances, and now he can call himself champion. Oleg Popov caught up with Kennedy Smith as well.
Thanks, Sean. Oleg, this is your 2nd year in the final, 1st year being a champion. How does it feel?
Как ты себя чувствуешь в статусе чемпиона?
Я рад, что я выиграл. В первом году я немного, наверное, переоценил свои силы. Либо перегорел, либо переоценил, до конца не понимаю. Но в этом году я верил, что я победю. Побежу, выиграю.
The first year I guess I was overwhelmed. But at that year I was pretty sure I deserve that win and I can do it.
You've got a belt across your chest, going home with $500K. What are you going to spend the money on?
У тебя есть пояс и $500 000. Куда ты потратишь деньги?
Домой, в семью. Все деньги потрачу на дом. У меня 3 детей, скоро будет 4-й, поэтому мне есть куда их тратить.
I'll bring to my home. I have 3 kids and we're waiting 4th one, and I'm gonna bring all money to home.
All right, congratulations, great fight.
Поздравляю, великолепный бой.
Спасибо вам большое. Я надеюсь, что в следующем году, либо через год, я себя проявлю еще лучше, еще сильнее буду.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you, and I hope in the next year or maybe after next year I'll come back and gonna compete again.
Thanks so much. Sean.
So Oleg Popov tops the heavyweight bracket. Hard-fought victory over Alexander Romanov. And congratulations to the Popov family. He said he's got 3 kids and they're waiting on number 4.
I hope he's gonna figured out what's causing that.
$500K will buy you a lot of diapers, Oleg. All right. Well, that's the end of the PFL World Tournament.
It can't be.
We capped off 3 more weight classes tonight here in South Florida. Middleweights, light heavyweights, heavyweights. We already sorted it out, and all the other weight classes. What are you guys going to do now?
What? There's got to be Nantes. We're going to France, Sean. That's what we're doing. We're going to Nantes. We've got Lazy King coming for you guys. We should probably be. Yeah, go on.
You know what? Jonathan Coachman speaking to the press. Let's go to Coach's press pass.
There's some new things we couldn't see to the tournament in 2026 that you could let us in on?
That's a great question, but I'm not going to tell you that.
Yeah, you can.
No, I can. I'm not going to. The one thing, and the reason I stand up here every single time and answer questions as transparent as I can, is because I want you guys to understand that when we announce something, that's the exact moment that we can announce it. I think on the final night of the World Tournament, it'd be very, very premature to say we're going to change this or we're going to change that. The natural question I get all the time in a lot of the interviews that I do are you happy with the 8 divisions that you have? I don't know. It kind of all depends on the fighters that we can sign, the fighters that we can find. Is it going to be the same 8 divisions next year? I don't know that. We'll have to sit down and obviously that's not my department. We run with it when they decide what they're going to do. But certainly I think, again, if I'm being honest, we were very, very happy with almost all the divisions this year.
Could we see the PFL return a little bit further to the West Coast in 2026?
God, I hope so. I live on the West Coast, man. I'm coming out here all the time. it really is all about the cities that want us there, that kind of make us the best offers, because we're in year 7, year 8, so we have to go where it financially makes sense. And you've seen the level of arena that we go to. This is a perfect arena for us. That 4,000 to 5,000 seat arena is perfect. So if we can find someone on the West Coast and they want us to come there and it financially makes sense, then I'm sure we will. This year we went to the cities that wanted us there. So hopefully they watch us on ESPN and they say, hey, we'd like to have PFL here. We answer the phone, and that's how it works.
Finally, what is your message to the fans who are waiting to see these fights now? Fabian, Costello, Dakota, Liz, etc. What can you say to the fans about those future fights that they are hoping to see?
Well, first and foremost, to all the fans, it's been such a positive thing online. I feel like there was a lot of, because we feed into it, a lot of times the media does, and we as people who run this do. I think we've completely flipped that on its head. I think it's been incredibly positive. I think a lot of you media have seen that we're willing to work with you, and I'll sit down all day and talk to anybody, and you guys have been amazing. And I think, because I said this before the tournament, that the MMA media is not against the PFL. You guys actually want us to succeed. It's better because that means more work for you guys, more fights for you to cover when it's not just the UFC that's having all the events that people talk about. So I would say to the fans, thank you, because we've had some really good numbers on ESPN. We've had some great lead-ins. Thank you to the 12-year-old kids in the Little League World Series for the great lead-ins the last 2 weeks. But the fans have been amazing, and everywhere we go, more and more they're starting to recognize what the PFL is. And it's not going to happen overnight, but it's a really good start.
Talk about Lazaro, Daron, his role with Bryce Merritt. It's going to be the fighters and the way he treats them.
We'll let Coach field some more questions. We bring it back into the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino Arena. There's the Smart Cage. A lot of blood in the Smart Cage tonight, which we don't mind.
A little bit.
Ian Parker has joined us on the post-fight show.
Sir?
Tell me what your number one takeaway from this World Tournament, and especially tonight, was.
You know what? I think this year out of all years, we saw different faces. We saw a changing of the guard. We saw better fights and no repeat fights, which I thought was really important. I think these divisions now have depth. We're going to get new contested champions, and it just shows you that no fight is over until it's really over. I mean, between Fabian, even Van Steen is coming back. It's Johnny Eblen. These guys are coming to fight. Doesn't matter the organization, promotion. The talent's here. The depth is here. This season was awesome. There was so many finishes. It was just highlight after highlight. It was great.
Dan, same question for you. You've been PFL Europe. We've still got some action there. We've got Champion Series coming up in Dubai. But you've seen it all, and now we've seen 10 World Tournament events. Do you agree with what Ian said?
Absolutely. Look, it's always good to see people like Shoeface, realize their dreams right towards the end of their career. Shoeface probably have a few more fights, but he is in a different stage to Sullivan Corley. And, I have to give a shout out to the alternates. Thad Jean, Justin Wetzel, Marceli Alves. We had alternates that weren't even in the conversation at the start. And I know you were pushing hard for Thad Jean to be a part of this because you saw his potential and realized that potential. Not many people saw him be able to go through all of the people that he did. That, for me, was the most impressive. Anybody can be competitive.
Look, it is an exciting mix between the rising young talents and some of the veterans that are not going away until you push them out. And Randy knows a little something about that. Liz Carmouche and Dakota Ditchbush seem on there on a collision course. And that's maybe there'll be a changing of the guard, or maybe Liz hands Dakota her first loss. It's kind of what the tournament was about. Establishing undeniable contenders for people who have already proven themselves.
The takeaway for me is when you take the toughest sport and we create these formats to make it even more challenging, and these fighters show their character, the resilience, and the athleticism that they possess in this sport, the toughest sport on the planet, and they just keep embracing it. 3 fights in 5 months, we just put them through that. These 64 fighters this year. That is remarkable to me, and that's the takeaway for me. I get impressed every single time with these athletes.
For me, calling these fights, right, you don't make picks, but you have certain expectations. You see the numbers, you see how Vegas looks at things, you hear the Duck make his picks, and you're just like, okay, I can see it working out that way. And sometimes you're right, but sometimes you get surprised. Not just all the time we get surprised in this sport. And we're still so far into my career around the sport. being around guys like Randy and Dan. I mean, we are surprised and inspired all the time by these PFL fighters, by the Costello Van Steeneses, by what we just saw from Fabian Edwards. Dalton Rosta and Sullivan Colley, they're going to be back. They're going to be contending for a long time. The old dogs prevailed tonight. It's really, really cool to see, and sometimes it does defy expectations, which is exactly why you tune in and you watch the fights. If it always worked out the way it looks on paper, there'd be no reason. Ian, we got to get rid of you, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I was just standing here. You sounded great. You did a great job. I'm really proud of you. I'm really proud of you guys. Great season.
You were adequate tonight.
I was all right. I was all right. Josh Silvera, that's all I needed. He was great. Made me look like a genius.
Upcoming events, so Ian Parker can see more of me, which is all he wants. September 26th, we're in Nantes, France, and then the day after that, we're in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia for PFL MENA. October 3rd, it'll be Dubai for a super fight card. 2 world championships will be contested there. Tickets are available right now, Coca-ColaArena.com. You can go to PFLMMA.com as well. Usman Nurmagomedov, Paul Hughes, 2, Friday, October 3rd. There's a look at Dubai.
We went up that, Sean.
We did. Dan and I at one point were standing right near the top of that Burj Khalifa. That's a live look at it, actually. This is a rematch, and I'll tell you, things have not calmed down any between these two fighters since the last time we saw them punching each other in the face.
Dagestan in MMA sport, different levels, you know. We proved already.
Very, very easy he can put his name on top 5 greatest fighters of all time.
Usman was about to break. I was about to get him out of there, and the headbutt happened. The rematch has got to be next, and I know that I will beat him in the rematch, absolutely, zero question.
I want to defend my title next in Dubai.
To do that in Dubai, it's completely a no-brainer. It's what the whole MMA world wants to see. You're looking past me.
Who are you?
Exactly.
Get out of here.
I need to be willing to go to the depths of hell to beat this man.
Your day is coming! When I will finish him, everybody gonna forgive this guy. I'm gonna destroy them.
Buy your tickets now. You do not want to miss the rematch. There will be no surprising anybody anymore if you're Paul Hughes, and Usman Nurmagomedov finds ways to prevail in every fight of his professional career so far. Randy, handicap this one for me. The second time you see someone, you've been involved in some rematches.
I've been in a few of those, and it's always, I think, the onus on the guy that won the first one. What's he going to change? You know he's going to change something. You're taking a wag at that, a wild guess. There's an A in there, too. You can figure out what that word is. But, yeah, that's who. What is Nurmagomedov expecting Paul Hughes to bring differently this time to get a different outcome? And that's what it's all going to boil down to. Who goes out and imposes their will? Does he get it right? When he gets it right, it's a good night. When you don't, it's not a very good night.
Look, Paul Hughes, even though he came away with the loss in that fight on the scorecards, he looked across the cage and he said, I have what it takes to beat that guy. I put doubt into his mind. And sometimes that's the battle, especially against these Dagestani machines, these monsters who don't know what losing feels like.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I mean, that fight had everything. There was drama, there was chaos in every round. There were certain moments where it was almost like there was a moral victory for Paul because he did something that people didn't expect him to. The clash of heads, that iconic photograph of the blood pouring down his head while he's staring over at Usman, trying to get him to start the fight again. Like, of course, both of these guys are going to raise their game. They're both going to be better versions of themselves when they step into the smart cage. But the question is, which 2.0 wins the second time around, right? We're going to get a new Usman. That's a terrifying thought because he's already pretty perfect. I mean, he's so well-rounded. Paul, I can't imagine how he's going to get better. Every time he gets in there, he shows me something new that he's not done before, and he impresses me over and over again. And I know he's going to level up one more time for this fight. It's wild. Who comes out on top? I have no idea.
There's an element to that first fight that Usman Nurmagomedov admitted to after. I didn't realize how tough that guy was. I didn't realize how skilled that guy was. Now that he has realized it, how does that affect his mentality, not only in the fight itself, but in the preparation? That's why we're going to find out on October 3rd in Dubai, Coca-Cola Arena, and you can buy your tickets. Flights are cheap to Dubai. Come on out. Let's watch together.
Short little flight.
And you know what? No, if you don't want to go all the way to Dubai, at least come to France. September 26th, we'll be there for PFL Europe action. Riyadh, Saudi Arabia for PFL MENA. The day after that, October 3rd in Dubai. Download the PFL app. If you don't have plans on showing up and watching live, you can watch those fights on the PFL app by scanning the QR code. Big thanks again to our producers, Josh Fowler, Lisa Mongeli, Miss seeing you on the road, head of creative, Juliana Barcia, our director, Derek Manning, associate director, Alexis Gilbar, technical director, Tom Kaltz. Lead A1, that's Sean O'Gorman, and our guy, Stets, who's always making sure we're taken care of. All the men and women behind the scenes throughout the year, PFL offices here on site. We owe it all to you. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us for PFL World Tournament action.